In 16-3, we're going to learn how to prepare a post-closing trial balance. So when all of our posting is completed, all of the balance sheet accounts, assets, liabilities, and capital accounts have up-to-date balances, so they're ready for the new fiscal year. Income statement accounts, the revenue, cost, and expense accounts have zero balances because we closed them out in our closing entry section. So what the post-closing trial balance is prepared to prove the equality of debits and credits in the general ledger and prepare them for the next fiscal period. This is what the post-closing trial balance will look like once completed. We will have the title of our company, post-closing trial balance, title of our sheet here, end of the year, the date, December 31st, and we're going to list all of our assets, liabilities, and owner's equity, and we're going to put the balance in the proper debit or credit section. And when we're done, we're going to have a totals section, and these two debits and credit columns should equal. So when we go to our Aplia problem, for our 16-3 work together, for the current year, December 31st balances for Visual Arts Center, balance sheet accounts after adjusting and closing entries have been posted are given below. So in this section, we didn't have to do the actual posting. When you get to 16-4 and 5, you will have to actually post them into the ledgers. But they've done that work for you and are just showing you the account balances. The only thing they're not showing us is if this is a normal debit or credit balance. Most of these you should remember from way back when. We know all our asset accounts should have normal debit balances, and our liabilities will have credit balances and so forth. So we'll have to figure this out as we go. If you forget what the normal balance is, go back to a worksheet, look at your trial balance columns, and you'll be able to see the normal balances for each of these accounts. So let's get to our Aplia problem. So our title here is going to be the Visual Arts Center, post-closing trial balance, and the date of December 31st. We're going to start by just listing all of these account titles, so you can actually have it open side by side and list all of the account titles. So now that we've listed all of our titles in and have the titles at the bottom, or the totals at the bottom, we can start simply putting in the balances in the correct debit and credit columns. So we know that cash has a normal debit balance, so that is going to be in the debit column, $21,810.20. We know petty cash is also an asset, $350. Accounts receivable is the money people owe us, so that is an asset, so $83,998.8. Merchandise inventory is also is going to be a debit. Supplies office and supplies stores are both assets, so those are both debits. Prepaid insurance is also an asset, so that is also a debit. And accounts payable, we know that anything with the words payable is liability, and liabilities have normal credit balances. So we're going to start with the accounts payable account in the credit section, $11,676.5. Sales tax payable, another liability. We owe the sales tax that we've collected. Capital stock, that's our capital is in our equity section, and remember we have stock when we have a corporation, so that is going to be a credit of $100,000. And retained earnings is also going to be a credit. Retained earnings is the amount of earnings we are keeping in our business and not distributing to our stockholders. Okay, and then just double check to make sure you didn't transpose any numbers or forget any of the dollars and cents. Make sure they're all the same as in the instructions here. I like to just double check my work to make sure. Once you are sure that you are set, add the two columns and make sure that your debits equal your credits. 1584, 100,000, And when you add them up, you should get 227,101. So both debits and the credits will equal, but do your own math so you can see where these numbers are coming from. It automatically puts the double line, as you can see, to show that you are done and that the account should balance out for your debits and credits. So that is the post-closing trial balance. Again, if you forget because this was a rather simple one, if you forget the normal balances, go back to your trial balance column in your worksheet to see what if it's a normal debit or credit.